Brought to you by the Every Dollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
So saw some data recently, Jade, that 70% of millennials have a favorable view of socialism. Now, I make that statement, and a lot of you get real nervous. There's a lot of emotions right now, and that's okay, because we're going to be adults, and we're going to step into something that needs to be talked about, and that is the affordability crisis in America. Now, I start with that data, Jade, because you hear that, and you go, what? And some of you may go, oh, these whatever insults that you might come up with. You're outraged by that. I understand that emotion.
They're outraged by the affordability crisis?
No, outraged that 70% of millennials view socialism favorably.
Okay.
All right. So then we have a big election, and Mom Donnie he's an avowed socialist. He becomes the mayor of New York. That creates a lot of emotions. You're going to see a lot of headlines. That guy's name and what he stands for is going to be in the news a lot.
Yeah.
So I'm addressing this not from a political standpoint, but from a financial, economic standpoint.
Okay.
So whatever your emotions and feels are, here's what I want to point out. The reason that 70% of millennials, and I don't know the numbers on Gen Z, but I'm raising 3. But why would a large chunk of Americans view socialism with some favorability? I'm going to tell you why. There's 3 major financial reasons why. Number 1, student debt. We talk about student debt on this show all the time. It's gotten bigger and bigger and more expensive. It is a full-blown crisis. If you've ever listened to me, I've talked about it. I think the federal government should not be in the banking business. And that's what they're in when they are financing student loans.
That's right.
And the colleges, Jade, and the universities get the money immediately. They get it immediately. So when a kid signs up, FAFSA and all that junk, they get the loan, boom. Guess who gets paid?
University cash.
That's right. And then these students become young adults, become young professionals, become middle-aged professionals.
And then they calling us.
And they're calling us under the unbearable burden it feels like. Now, it's bearable. We teach them how to get out of it.
Right.
But let's talk about the problem. So student loans, it's a crisis. It's a hook. And the federal government is on the back of people with student loans. Not only is the student loan thing a problem, but the affordability of tuition, Jade, is a problem. The universities keep ratcheting up the cost of tuition.
Of course they are, because
they're
money
getting
in the
paid.
bank.
They're getting paid immediately.
Yeah.
Number 2, affordable housing.
Real estate. I was hoping it was on your list.
It's the biggest of the 3, but affordable housing. I'm seeing reports that sometime in the next 6 months or so, we will see the average age of a first-time home buyer. I can't even believe I'm saying this, Jade. Be 40 years of age or older.
But we know, I mean,
we deal with that every day.
You and I did the math on it the other day. If you're making $100,000 and you pick a house for, I don't know, $375,000, and we can run the math on that, but you're going to be putting 60% down for that to be 25% of your take-home pay.
That's exactly right.
You can do it, but it's going to take you a long time.
Long time. I'm glad you mentioned that. So add that into the emotion.
It's
You've
emotional.
written a book about emotion and money. What no one tells you about money. Well, I'm going to get real and marry politics and economics for a second. The third factor, the skyrocketing cost of healthcare and the spotty coverage. We take those calls every day. Now, if you're still with me, and I don't care if you're a conservative or a liberal, I'm not making a political statement. I'm talking about the reality of the affordability crisis in America, and I've given you the big 3.
It's expensive.
Now, let me play this out. And I'm not justifying anybody's views on socialism, but I am a realist, and I'm a co-host of the largest money show in the world. And we help people dig out of these problems. Now, you take those 3 things. Let me review very quickly. Student debt, unaffordable housing, skyrocketing healthcare with spotty coverage. You take all 3 of those things and you put them together. And millennials, younger millennials for sure, Jade, and Gen Z, they have never experienced positive capital. What I mean by that is the true usage of the word money. They feel like they have been and they are behind the 8 ball for anyone, if not all 3 of these combined.
Understood.
So therefore, the system of capitalism as they know it doesn't work very well.
They have to listen to us old heads to try to tell them.
So me, Dave, I'll say it, I'm all pro-capitalism, but I am being realistic today as a 51-year-old Gen Xer who has thrived because of capitalism. My experience with capitalism is very different than theirs. And so I'm just simply pointing out for a moment, because this could tear our country apart, and I'm going to make a case today to bring it together.
Ken, go for it.
Okay, so there's the setup. I don't think that they're evil. I don't think they're idiots. I don't think they should be ridiculed and made fun of and marginalized. I think they need to be stood up for. And so I'm going to make a suggestion that those of us who have won because of capitalism and experienced the fruit of it, the burden now becomes on us as we the people, if we believe what we say we believe, that we now have to collectively put pressure on all politicians, local, state, federal, both sides of the aisle, and say, maybe we the people should vote these lunatics and these idiots out if they don't work on policy by creating policy or changing policy to make things affordable. Period. Now, I can say that as a host of the Ramsey Show because I am not at the mercy of someone with an opinion because I have an experience. I've A, benefited from capitalism, and B, I've coached thousands upon thousands upon thousands of people, and we will take more calls today of people that are dealing with this affordability crisis in America.
That's right.
And we the people have one option, to start to collectively say, let's take on these three issues.
Yep.
And so as a guy who gets this unbelievable privilege from a money perspective,
Yes.
and you don't come at me because I will not read the comments, and James Charles will tell you.
What can you come at, Ken? I feel like that's
I'm just
the most
saying, this is the
reasonable
problem.
thing that I've heard in a long
So
time.
both parties are on the hook for this. Don't come at me. Both parties are on the hook.
Yeah.
And we the people are on the hook to say, wait a second. Let's take these three issues alone. Affordable housing, the student loans and the tuition crisis, and healthcare costs, and let's do something about it. And we've got to make our voices heard. I'm not talking about violence, but I am talking about the one thing that these politicians care most about is their preservation, Jade. They just want to keep
They
getting
just want to
reelected.
get voted in.
So at some point, this is coming to a head. And I don't want our audience to get sucked into
The
what the
ugliness.
Mom Donnie election means and what millennials flirting or liking socialism means. Don't get fearful. Get active. Because I can tell you this, if anything unites the American people, it would be those three issues.
Yeah, we can all agree that it's
That's
outlandish.
a big tent.
Yeah.
That's a big tent. I think we could all say, how many in this giant audience think that housing affordability should be lower? Everybody's raising their hands. How many in this audience think that healthcare should be more affordable and better coverage? That's everybody in this audience. How many people think that the rising tuition in America is out of control and the student loan thing is a crisis and we should get out of the student loan business? How many think that maybe these universities should raise their own frickin' dollars? Or use what's already in those giant endowments and pay for bright young students to get educated? Every hand in the audience goes up. I'm not running for anything. I'm just pointing out that what could break our great nation is this affordability issue, and it's solvable. And I will say to our large audience, Republican, Democrat, Independent, Libertarian, Conservative, Liberal, we probably should unite on these issues and say, let's make our public servants do better on policy, Jade, to make these things better. And I bet you we'd have a far greater union, a far less stressed country, a far less pissed off electorate. I'm throwing it out there.
Create your free every dollar budget today, the simplest way to budget for your life.